Hey guys, so today we're going to talk about a very sensitive topic in Malaysia. Wait, hold up. I gotta check if the coast is clear. Alright. Okay, today we're going to talk about Malay Bumiputera privilege. Wait, oh shit, that was a close one. This is it's a very dangerous topic. Like Malays don't like it when you talk about Malay Bumiputera privilege. Oh shit. So that's the last time I do a video in Kelantan, huh? Okay, but for reals though, Malays are really sensitive when it comes to Bumi privilege. I did a video last week about the history of Bumi privilege and look at those dislikes. 2K dislikes in one day. Woo! And also to appreciate the message that I'm trying to get across, it would be best to watch the video Malaysia Bumiputera privilege, a history lesson, down in the description below. First, let's look at what do we Malays get anyway? What do we Malays get from Bumi privilege? Well, some of these privileges include companies listed on the Kuala Lumpur Stock Exchange must have 30% Bumiputera ownership of equity. For a limited period, a certain percentage of new housing in any development has to be sold to Bumiputera owners. A basket of government-run and profit-guaranteed mutual funds are available for purchase by Bumiputera buyers only. Many government-tendered projects require that companies submitting tenders be Bumiputera owned. Projects reserved for Bumiputera contractors to enable them to gain expertise in various fields. Approved permits, APs, for automobiles, preferentially allow Bumiputera to import vehicles, and of course the quota for scholarships, placement in universities, and work opportunities. Okay, let's ignore the quota for scholarships, placement in universities, and job placements in Malaysia. So Malays consists of 60% of Malaysians. That's about 18 million Malays in Malaysia. Out of that 18 million, how many Malays do you know that invest in the stock market, or in housing, or government-run mutual funds, or imports vehicles? Oh hey, it seems like only a few percent of Malays are actually taking advantage of this privilege. It almost seems like the Bumiputera privilege was designed to benefit a certain few people. If I have to explain this shit a bit more, I'm gonna get thrown in jail, so reach the conclusion for yourself. Of course, there's no doubt that the Bumi privilege also helps a lot of working class Malays in terms of scholarships, education opportunities, employment opportunities, and business opportunities like investment from Teraju. But after 50 years, are the Malays so incapable that we're not able to succeed without help from the government? The problem I have with the Bumi privilege is how it's made Malays more entitled and are oblivious to the damage it does to the non-Malays. So I wrote up a post on Facebook and Twitter to get Malaysians to share what it's like to be discriminated by Bumi privilege policies. And this is what I got. Hi, I have a story regarding the Bumiputera issue. I am an Indian Muslim, or commonly known as Mamak. For SPM, I got 7 A's, 3 B's, which is not great, but not bad either. During the UPU application, I wanted to apply for medical school, but the only medical program which is open to non-Bumi is in UPNM. I applied for that and several other courses such as law and engineering and a few unis. I didn't get into any, but my Malay peers with results much worse than mine got accepted into their uni of choice. The same thing happened for matrics. My best friend, an Indian girl with 7 A's, got rejected for matriculation. I got into matric with the same results and my roommate only got 1 A. My friend is not rich. His father works in a factory and his mom is a nurse. My cousin got rejected by Mara. Mom is Indian, dad is Malay. Unfortunately, he inherited most of the Indian genes, dark skin. Dad died when he was a kid. Anak yatim, rejected during interview process, was asked, you ni Melayu ke? See, that's the problem with the Bumi privilege as a whole. I mean, Bumiputera is supposed to be whoever is the original owners of the land. So it doesn't just include Malays, it includes other non-Malays like the Orang Asli. But in this case, what happened so far is that Bumi privilege has allowed us to think that Malays, and only Malays, deserve it. When I was in matrics, the lecturer told my class, assuming we were all Bumi, padahal I wasn't sebab I'm Indian Muslim, but dumb fuck couldn't know the difference between religion and race lah, quote. That he opened a scholarship slot to become lecturers in matrics, and if Bumi, he'll do extra hard to fit you in. Also, we have an educational program which involves all the Muslims only. If their intention was to really segregate us so that we can do ibadah, then tak apalah juga. But where got they segregate us for ibadah? Every night class we have, they almost make it compulsory to compare us to the kafirs and make it look like the kafirs are the enemy and competition. Melayu pun pandai juga program ni nak bantu hampa. My Indian Muslim friends and I were late for one day for the program, and the lecturer in charge asked one of my guy friend if he was Hindu. Then he proceeded to shame us for being late, and I still remember him clearly saying, "Kita Melayu Islam, kenalah," whatever. Masa tu memang bara lah juga, but what is there to say? It's not like we got bad CGPA to get treated like that. As far as I can recall, all the Indian Muslim in that program got 3.5 above with a lot of 4.0 juga. But see how we get treated for giving good contribution. Before I got into uni, my parents were going through a tough time and I didn't even know what my results were going to look like. But shit worked out, and all of a sudden I'm standing with an offer to uni and the results I need, but zero cash. I went to every financial institution, NGO, charity, scholarship body that offer money I could think of. Now my SPM results weren't great, but my Coco shit was lit, plenty of Wakil Negara and crap like that, and not even in dumb shit like sports. Okay, so sports is great, keep doing sports. Tangible intellectual activities like MUN and debate, and I won, dude. So it was pretty fire in my opinion at the least. So I wasn't looking for a full scholarship, just a loan like a Mara kind of thing. But no one gave me shit. Everyone said there's no such thing as loans for non-Bumis. Not even a single one better than I. Like, it's totally fine. Ambil PTN, belajar kat UPM ke apalah boy. Result kau bagus. That sentence stings, dude. We trap here. If we ain't shit, man, it's fucking crap. Thankfully, shit worked out for my family, but I know 98% of people in my situation don't make it out like that. I studied in MRSM, Kuala Terengganu, class of 2005. It was open to non-Bumi at initial stage. We were allowed to attend the mock interview for overseas universities mock interview, but after being so hopeful about it and worked so hard for the CV and documents, we, the non-Bumi, were told not allowed for the real interview because the interview is open to Bumiputera only. I was like, well, then why the hell I gave up my normal high school life and came so far for the school you claim to be a privileged school and promised to sponsor those who are capable. And I got straight A's in my SPM and I did not even get into matriculation. And how come my schoolmates who got only 8A got into OSMAT? I got 8 A's in PMR, including Chinese. I applied for SBP, rejected because tiada tempat, dah penuh. 8 A's in SPM, B plus for Maths and C plus for Chinese, rejected from matriculasi, while friends who received 2 A's for non-science subjects, some even got a D for science subs. Applied for Asasi Science UPM and got rejected because bukan Bumi memang tak layak masuk. It's a requirement to be Bumi. Friends with 2 A's got in Asasi in various public uni. I told myself it's not the government's fault, I'm just not good enough. But now I realize how different things can be if only I was a Bumi. And that's not a good mentality. A lot of Chinese are resigning from fighting the system because only 10% of non-Bumis can make it in most unis or government institutions. Should all of us actually accept this and move on though, since there's nothing we can do and discussion of this can actually be seditious? I don't know. I really don't know. The Asasi program in University Malaya is only for Bumiputeras. Even though my results were good enough, I wasn't qualified. I feel discriminated as if I wasn't a Malaysian. And it wasn't very unfair that non-Bumis have to go to private uni if they want to do a course they want. All of my non-Bumi friends are in private unis because we already know that even if we applied for a public uni, we will probably be overlooked no matter how good our SPM results are. So what does it say about our situation in Malaysia? A lot of these stories that I've gotten are regarding education opportunities. And what this says is that from a very young age, non-Malays are told, you don't deserve it. This is Malay rights. This is Bumi rights. Non-Malays do not deserve the same opportunities that Bumis get. That education as a basic human right in any country in the world is not accessible to you because you are not Bumi. How does that make them feel? And this is the real first experience they receive in terms of discrimination. They haven't even stepped out into the real world yet. They're still wrapping their minds around the reality around them. And at this age, reality in Malaysia is telling them to go fuck themselves because they don't deserve it. In high school debate, there's a rule whereby there was a need for a Bumiputera speaker to not only be on the team but must speak in all the rounds. Being Eurasian, I have this partial Bumiputera thing going on, so I was the Bumiputera speaker. Right until a teacher from another school lodged a report with the competition organizers that I did not fall under Bumiputera as per Article 153 of the Federal Constitution after my school won the state level debate competition. They threatened to disqualify us, but after persistence from my teacher at the State Department, they let me slide that year. But the following year onwards, they specifically only wanted a Bumiputera that fulfilled Article 153. Bumi privilege does not only damage racial harmony, but also the Malays themselves. Here's a story that I got from a teacher once tried to emotionally blackmail me when I told her I had to leave the debate team before the government's Datuk Wira debate championship, where they need a Bumiputera debater to participate. I needed to leave because I failed my AD Math and it was SPM year. My teacher then told me I was not a good debater and that I only got on the team because I am Bumiputera. It affected my self-esteem and all of my perceptions of all of my achievements within the system for years to come, until I realized my teacher was an asshole and not actually right. I placed well as an individual debater in the tabs. As a mixed female Bumiputera immatriculation, I was forced to wear a tudung at times, forced to wear baju kurung instead of office wear like the non-Muslims because I was Malay woman and I needed to act my race and behave like my gender, thus wear a skirt. This was the actual policy of the matriculation. I was also forced to attend religious talks at the mosque on the weekends where they told us to come convert our roommates and to hate Jews. I also constantly felt like I need to work 100 times harder to prove to non-Malays, non-Muslims that I am not a typical lazy Malay who got where I did because of Bumiputera policies, common discrimination from non-Bumis, and also other liberal Bumis. The discrimination against me is not as bad as against those who are not Bumiputera because the latter are starved of actual opportunities. But the discrimination I did face affected me psychologically, made me hate the Bumi policies and made me feel constantly guilty and angry in a system where my close non-Bumi friends got fucked over. The Bumi privilege is, we have to say it, it's an insult to the Malay race. It was created and implemented to help bring up the Malays to be on par with the non-Malays, like the Chinese. And that's great, but what has happened instead was Chinese families tell their kids to study and work harder because they are told they don't have Bumi privileges. They have to work harder if they want to succeed. And the Malays made us lazier. We are born and we're told, hey, you don't need to study so hard. You get into unis with just 2 A's. Hey, you don't need to work so hard. You just get a government job. It made us entitled, lazy people. Now, I'm not saying that all Malays are lazy. A lot of Malays actually work hard to get to where they're at. 71% of Malays want the Bumi privilege to be abolished. Before you say, oh, this is probably an urban area Malays. No, that's not exactly true. 61% from rural areas want it to be abolished, and 75% from urban areas want it to be abolished. Who the heck still wants it? The Bumiputera privilege as a whole, it helps the top 1%. And I'm not the 1% because I checked my bank account and I'm definitely not in the fucking 1%. What the policy needs to be is to help out the bottom 40%. So it doesn't just help out a single race. It helps out everyone, all the Malaysians, disregarding race, and just help out the ones that actually need it, the bottom 40%. And this was proposed in 2009. This was proposed to Najib to actually consider, but nothing really happened from there. So to end this video, let me share with you one story I got. This is like, hey, got some story to tell ya. We are a group of queer guys, each telling their first time doing anal. And when it's my turn, I tell them that my first time was with some local Chinese guy. Everybody was like, ew, kau main dengan Cina kotor sial. And I was like, what? It's the same thing lah. And noted that my friends are all Malay. Hidup Melayu. Just comment about what you think. If you like this video, subscribe if you want more. And that's about it. Just start checking if there are cops behind, you know what I'm saying?